here at Southwood Nursery, and joining me today is the gardener guy, Paul James. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, Casey.
I'm so excited to be here with you, and you're going to show us some plants that are tolerant of soggy soils, which is perfect because the sun is starting to come out finally. But what do we have to look at?
Well, there's a number of situations where people have a spot in their yard where, you know, maybe it stays wet all the time, or maybe it just stays wet for a week or two following heavy rains.
Right.
A lot of plants won't grow with wet feet like that. So I want to focus on plants that will do really well in those soggy sites. But the bonus is they also do really well when it dries out.
Perfect for Oklahoma.
So, as the name would suggest, river birch
Likes water.
exactly. Then this, I'm so excited about this, a relatively new introduction called Fox Valley.
Right.
Betula nigra Fox Valley. The cool thing about this, 8 by 8 is its ultimate size.
Excellent. So it'd be great for a small backyard. I mean, you can see it doesn't look as much like a tree, it's more of a shrub.
Exactly. But it still develops that beautiful exfoliating bark that is a key feature in the full-size tree.
Right.
So rather than have this giant tree in your yard, if you like river birch, you can still have one and just go with the shrub form.
Perfect.
I love this.
That looks great. What else do you have?
Okay, one of my absolute favorites, and yours too apparently.
Yes.
Taxodium disticum, the bald cypress.
The bald cypress.
Now, these are native to swamps. Louisiana swamps, if you've ever seen them growing, and they develop those knees,
Right.
which are terrible on lawnmower blades. But these, they'll not only thrive in water, standing water, but if it dries out, they also adapt readily to dry conditions.
Right, and this was actually an Oklahoma proven plant.
Yep.
Which is nice. Some of the plants you're showing us are easy to find in nurseries.
Yes. But in this group, this is a fairly new introduction. This is called Peeve Minaret. I love this. I have 3 of these.
It's going to be a dwarf also, right?
It's a dwarf cultivar. There's still actually some disagreement on its ultimate height. I'm putting it at about 8 feet.
Okay.
But only about 2 feet wide.
Excellent.
So you get that, again, great for a small property, a little courtyard, even does well in containers.
So these are tree genus, but they're both dwarf.
Right. And you know, they do so well here. I mean, they've been on the planet since like the Triassic, Jurassic, so, you know, it's a pretty rugged plant.
There's a reason it outlasted the dinosaurs, right?
Exactly.
All right, well, let's go take a look at some more that you have for us.
Let's go that way.
So, Paul, speaking of natives, we have the Yaupon holly here.
Yes, and I don't think a lot of people realize that this will tolerate a really wet spot.
Right.
And you know, you've got the more familiar form, and then you've got weepers, and you know, you got those beautiful berries. So another great choice. I love them.
And there's also a Nana Yaupon.
Right.
So does it do well in soggy
conditions?
conditions?
Not as well.
Okay.
Not as well. But you know, one of the things I've always liked about this more than anything else is its Latin name.
Ilex vomitoria.
I just love that. Who says botanists don't have a sense of humor?
Right. And you can limb this up too, as well.
Absolutely.
So you can kind of create more shape with it.
I actually have a neighbor who for years had done that radical formal pruning, you know?
Right.
And one day he saw mine and he goes, "How do I get mine to look like yours?" And I said, "Stop pruning." And so he did, and it's been like 2 years now. It looks beautiful. Great. It's gone back to its, you know, its natural form, and it's really pretty.
Right, they're a great plant.
I love them.
Excellent.
Okay, there's more. So, Casey, not a real well-known plant, I don't think.
Right.
Wax myrtle.
Right.
This is just an amazing plant from the standpoint of it will grow anywhere.
Okay.
It will grow fast, up to 5 feet a year if it really likes where it is. It's an evergreen. It's got aromatic foliage and berries. The berries in colonial times were used to make bayberry candles. Bayberry's another name for it.
Right.
I mean...
And it's an Oklahoma proven.
And it's an Oklahoma proven. Maybe some hardiness issues in certain parts of the state, but it's performing really well in the Tulsa area. So,
right, okay.
Just, I don't know. I'll be the first to admit, it's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but when it comes to solving problems, because people want fast-growing evergreens,
right,
and there really aren't that many, this is certainly one that'll fit the bill, and will just grow in wet soil, dry soil, heavy clay. It doesn't matter.
Southern wax myrtle.
Yes.
Sounds like an ideal plant for that situation
Yes.
that you're just not sure about.
And for years it's been in the genus Myrica. They're moving it to Morella.
Okay.
Those taxonomists, like they don't have anything better to do.
It's hard to keep up with them
I mean,
sometimes.
we give them credit for Ilex vomitoria,
Right.
but I don't know why they want to change it. Anyway, that's a nice one. And speaking of names that need to be changed,
Yes.
I got one
another
more
one?
to show you.
Excellent.
Okay, so this is one where I'm going to throw you a curve maybe.
All right.
It's called black gum, okay?
Okay.
But the problem with naming any tree gum,
People want to chew it, right?
worse, they think of sweet gum and they don't want a sweet gum anymore because those seed pods are so, ugh.
Okay.
The black gum, its real name, and we're going to change the name on all our signs, Tupelo.
Tupelo.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a much prettier name, and the bees love the flowers.
Like Tupelo honey.
You got it.
Excellent.
But this is, what an amazing tree. Very underused in this area, very underused. It'll grow in wet soils, it'll grow in dry soils. This is wildfire. This will get about 30 feet or so.
Okay.
And then the species more like 40 to 50. But a great landscape tree, fall foliage is unbelievable.
Red color?
Yes.
Okay.
Almost like you plugged it in.
Really?
I mean, it just is spectacular. This is one of those, the fall colors such that people will stop, knock on your door and say, what is that tree out there?
That's fabulous. We're always looking for additional fall color.
Yeah, I mean, very underused, rugged as all get out. This thing is tough as nails. So great for any setting. And the smaller one will adapt well to smaller yards. If you've got plenty of land, then you can go with the big one.
Okay, great. So Paul, it looks like we've got a willow here. And
Yes.
It's amazing some of the different willows, and you have one in particular here.
I love this one because, willows typically get pretty large.
Right.
And you see them growing around farm ponds, and they look great in landscape settings. But this is golden sunshine. Two things I like about it. The more golden color,
Yeah.
but the size. 15 by 7 or so, a shrub.
Okay, so it's going to have kind of a globe shape to it, not the weeping willow that a lot of times we're
Correct.
used to seeing, but this bright yellow foliage to it.
Right.
Very
And
nice.
just well contained, not difficult to grow. Loves the moisture.
Right.
All you want to give it. So a great choice. A lot of plants. We need more smaller versions of familiar large plants.
Right.
Because so many properties are smaller these days.
Having smaller backyards, and this is a multi-stem.
Yes.
So could you train it into a single
You
stem?
probably
or-
could. I've never seen it in a tree form, but it'd be worth a try.
All right.
Yeah, why not?
All right. Golden sunshine willow.
Okay, speaking of shrubs.
Yes.
My favorite shrub in the whole world is coming up.
Oh goodness. Paul, it looks like we have sweet spire here.
I just love Little Henry.
It's a great one.
Itea virginica, Henry's Garnet Sweetspire. I'm telling you, to me, this is as good a four-season shrub as you can get.
Right.
That new foliage comes out, it's just that beautiful light green.
Mm-hmm.
Then it darkens. You get the panicles of white flowers. These are almost past their prime. But then again, so am I. So, what are you going to do? And then you get amazing fall color and the red stems.
Right. That's what I like, is the contrast between the red stems and the foliage. It's just a perfect plant.
Well behaved in a drier spot. It will send out runners in a wet area.
So you get bonus plants.
Well,
that
you
way.
do, absolutely. And it's not that hard to just cut them back if you want to. About 3 by 3. But the cool thing is, these will grow in deep shade as well as full sun.
And they'll light up that shade too. Kind of bring you a little bit of highlight underneath that dark shade of a tree.
I think oak leaf hydrangea is my favorite plant for Oklahoma.
Uh-huh.
This may be running a close second. Yeah.
Okay. Paul, a lot of times people think about ornamental grasses being dry and in a hot condition. You've got one here that does well with soggy feet?
Yes, and I don't think a lot of people realize this. This is a switchgrass.
Right.
Panicum is the genus, and this will tolerate pretty wet soil. I
Okay.
mean, long term.
Excellent.
And another thing I just love about this, you know how the miscanthus and the pennisetas, more familiar ornamental grasses, tend to
Flop.
do this, right?
North wind, holds its form, right?
5 feet, and I've never seen it wider than 2 feet.
That's great.
So
So it won't cover up your other plants when you plant it next
exactly.
to something.
And it looks great as a specimen, looks great in mass. I
Right.
mean, it looks great no matter how you plant it.
And
This-
like all ornamental grasses, great winter interest. You leave the foliage on there, easy to care for. You just cut them back in late winter, early spring, and it does its thing.
why am I here? You know all
You can't
this.
beat that.
Why, you don't even need me today.
No, this is great. Thank you for sharing.
But this
with
does
us.
get a beautiful yellow in the fall. So yeah, four season interest again, kind of like little Henry over there.
Right.
You know, you can enjoy these and they don't need fertilizer. You know, water them well the first year to get them established. Beyond that, they thrive on neglect.
Yes,
That's what I love about it.
that's perfect for us low maintenance gardeners. right?
Absolutely. This defines low maintenance.
Excellent. So it looks like a grass, but it's actually a sedge, right?
That's right. The genus Carex. These, I think, also very underused and kind of give you that ground cover, grassy kind of look.
Right. It doesn't get much taller than this.
Right, right. But you've got this beautiful variegation. You know, here you got the yellowy cream color and you've got the white on the edges.
Right.
So a lot of interest. And look, yours has got some volunteers, it looks like. Oh well, we'll deal with that
Bonus
later.
plant.
But yeah, I love these, and they're great in mass. Great border plant, and
I think they look really great as masked. And again, you mentioned the color, the variegation. It helps highlight some of those shady spots too.
bingo.
Perfect.
Now, right next to us here,
Uh-huh.
we have the ferns.
Yes.
So ferns, all the ferns will do okay in a moist environment. But the ostrich and the cinnamon will tolerate really wet areas. I'm out of ostrich ferns today, but some cinnamon ferns we've got. And those, I mean, seriously,
wet is fine.
So these are the ones you would put next to your leaky faucet,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
When you have a leaky faucet and you haven't got around to fixing it, if it is in shady conditions,
Right.
It's great for that area where it's going to stay constantly moist.
Yeah, I just love them. I love that woodland look and feel, the softness and gentleness. I don't know. I've just always been attracted to ferns.
Perhaps plant it under your bald cypress.
Exactly. 'Cause
Very good.
Another gymnosperm. It's been around for a long, long time.
Bring in the dinosaurs. Well, it looks like you've shown us everything, every situation. Sun, shade, large, small backyard. There is something for the Soggy location.
There really is. And it's too bad that a lot of people think they can't solve the problem.
Right.
When in fact, there are a lot of solutions to those problems.
Thank you for sharing those solutions with us.
My pleasure.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.